It is your boy back at it again. Welcome to another edition of the Rico Report, brought to you by you know who, the Buffalo Fanatics. Tuesday night edition of the Rico Report. You guys know already I'll be joined very shortly by a special guest. But before we get into that, I know Thanksgiving is around the corner for you Americanos. So happy early Thanksgiving to y'all. And let's keep it cracking a little bit and recap a little bit. I don't want to go too far because I'll be joined shortly, but recap a little bit of what took place this past Sunday. The Bills offensively leaned in heavily on Josh Allen. Now, is that a bad thing? Absolutely not. I think a lot of us is what we've been waiting for. And it's funny. I find myself when I'm watching these games, I had to I had my man Pierre hit me up. He goes, "Hey man," and this is a question for y'all. I'm actually genuinely curious. Not that I'm going to change a damn thing, but I'm genuinely curious. Would you find a split of fans between when watching games and commenting on games that they're more on the positive side and more on the up and up, and I'm just glad to be here and this team is winning? Or do you guys find most fans are on the negative side? Even though we're winning and we're doing good things, you still see fans look at the bad. And I bring this up because Pierre was like, "Bro, you seem kind of negative when watching these games." And I'm like, "Am I negative? I didn't realize I was negative. I felt like I was, as a fan, watching the game like a lot of other people." I wonder, do you guys find yourselves extra critical when watching your team, even though they're doing really good? You just want them to win so bad, but you're looking at all the little mini things. Is that the athlete in me where you think you had a good game, but you criticize yourself anyway? I wonder. Let me know what your takes are. Let me know if you feel some fans are really over too critical, some are too on the positive side. My man said, "Yo, Kingpin said the same thing yesterday." Yo, Kingpin said the same thing about me and Rev, man. Listen, I don't know. Maybe Kingpin is the one that's too soft and he's just la-di-da. I don't know. But maybe there are a lot of folks that are like the Kingpin, that everything is roses. But I know that he's not everything. It's not always roses. But we'll have to talk about that. That's something I'll bring up a little later. But let me bring my man on real quick, my man Carl Jones, and I want to get his thoughts. And I actually want to get his thoughts because he's a neutral party in this. Maybe he might say that we are overly critical of his Bills. But let me bring my man on if he's ready. He gives me that thumbs up. He's ready to go. Oh, he's got the digs on and everything. What's up, my G? What's happening? You good?
I'm good, baby. I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I had to get myself a fresh cut today. I had to get my Carl Jones on. You know
I see you, my boy. I see you.
You know what I
I
mean?
see you. I see you.
The birthday is coming up in a couple of days, man. So I'm not gonna be able to get a cut tomorrow. I'm on the road tomorrow, so I'm doing all this stuff. So I had to look fresh at least for if they, you know, me try to surprise me with a surprise. Yo, I got my fresh cut.
Hey, my boy, looking smooth. Happy early birthday, my boy. Happy
Appreciate
early.
it, my G. 22 years old, coming through. You know,
Stop the cap. Stop the
Cap
cap. Stop the cap.
All right, let me get right into that. I gotta ask you a question, and keep it a buck, keep it a beam. Do you find that when you're on social media and you're not really actually necessarily on your phone, maybe you are on your phone while the game is, you're in the press box watching the game, do you find like the people on your feed are overly critical of the Bills, even when they're having success and they're scoring and Josh has got 6 touchdowns, and you're like, how are you still, or are some of these critiques warranted in your estimation?
I think and this is, you got to think of it like this. Most fans, and this is what makes sports just so fun, and I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way. What makes sports so fun is the casual audience, those who just tune in on Sundays. Like, most fans aren't watching you and I on this Tuesday evening. Most fans out there, they just watch on Sunday, and that's how they get their fix. And I think that larger audience just goes with the ebbs and flows of how their star players play. So if Josh is playing great, that's all that really matters. And I think that once you take into consideration the larger sports audience out there, they just care about the people that they know. And they know make the quarterback, a receiver, maybe a guy on defense, maybe, and that's pushing it. If those guys are playing well, then in their eyes, the team, and as long as they get a W as well, then they're playing well as well. It's hard for when, like, if I try to think of a game this year, like the Panthers game. The Panthers game is a great example where Josh didn't do a lot. I mean, it was a run game and the defense kicked tail. Yet there was still a lot of, I don't want to say negativity, a lot of pessimism about that win. Like, man, they were trash. It's Andy Dalton, yada yada yada. But if it was the inverse, James Cook is held to 25 yards, but Josh throws 450. Josh having to, the Bills are playing great. So I think it's all depends. And even those who are a little bit more fanatical about their sports, I still think the ebbs and flows of these star players is how you tend to view the team through that lens.
I like that. I had my boy Pierre call me out, and he was like, "Yo, you negative, bro. I see your feed. Your feed is all negative." I was like, "Boy, man, shut your ass up, man. Go sit down somewhere with your kumbaya." I don't do that nonsense, man. But we that's how we fan. And his line is, "Fan how you want to fan." And I'm
right with you on that one. I love it. I hate people who police fans like that. This ain't church. Like,
and that's my man Pierre comes up with that, man. He says, "Fan how you want to fan. There's no right way, no wrong way, and away we go." And that's what I wanted to get your opinion on that. And that's not why you're here, baby. You're here to I want to get your thoughts on this game overall. Your overall thoughts on this matchup that we just, and because I want to split this because the game is over, but it's a short week, so I kind of want to get into the Texans as well. So I'll try to split your time as much as I can. But your thoughts overall on this 6 touchdown performance by Josh Allen, the receivers, how they fared against this Bucs team that is a good team, is a very well coached team, and we didn't make it look like they were a very good team. Talk to me on your thoughts on offensive what we did, defensive what we did, and what you liked. Floor is yours.
Man, I remember that quote a few years back. I think it was towards the latter end of Aaron Rodgers, where he said, "My down years is career years for everybody else." And that's kind of how Sunday was for Josh, where Josh didn't play well. I mean, on a down basis, he did not play well.
Be careful how you say this because people are going to think you're negative, bro. Be careful.
Listen, that brother scored 6 touchdowns. F what I got to say. What?
Yeah, no doubt.
Right, but he on a down basis, he didn't play up to his standard. I guess I'll say that.
Yeah. I understand.
But he scored 6 touchdowns. 6. So, like, it's remarkable the fact that even a player who can go through the ebbs and flows of missing throws, an atrocious interception, some poor decisions, and still find the end zone 6 times. That's the caliber of player we're talking about here. So when I saw that game, the Aaron Rodgers quote was in my head. It's like, damn, his worst day is better than everybody else's career days. So I just want to give Josh his flowers for that. Yeah, it was a good one, Brian. Make sure y'all check that out on my YouTube channel, Carl Jones, and just type in Max Harrison. Show love there. My XP got it too if y'all want to check it on there. Max is great. But I thought the Bills' offense got back on track. The running backs got involved. I know everyone's been clamoring for that over the past few months. This defense, it is what it is. I ain't got nothing to say about them. But I think the offense showed an ability to move the ball down the field as well, which is cool. Like, it's not just the fact that they put up 45. They did it in ways that you hadn't seen for the better part of most of this year, So I think that's what you take away from that win.
All right. Well, and I'm glad that you brought up we're not used to seeing this offense do what they've done like this in a while, which feels like it's been a while. I mean, since week 1. So to see that happen again, it was refreshing. But I'm with you. I'm like, I looked at all 6 touchdowns, and it's not even about negativity. It's like, okay, so 3 rushing touchdowns within 10 yards, 5 yards, pretty much push. No doubt you gotta go in there and do what you gotta do. It's impressive nonetheless. And the touchdowns that Josh put up, 6 touchdowns, like, it's crazy. He put up 6 touchdowns, but you can still find like, but he could have been better. And how crazy it sounds for us to even say that. You could have been better, bro. What? Like 6 touchdowns. What do you want?
Imagine if Bo Nix put up that stat line. That's not like a season best. That's a career. Bo Nix ain't scored look like that in his football career dating back to middle school. Bro, so like that's the type of player we're talking about with Josh.
You ain't lying. And that's the thing with Josh, man. This is what I've had to come to this conclusion. And I've seen a lot of people come to this conclusion, and I'm with them as well. This is the Josh that we're going to have to accept. The one that we tried to cage and control and let him be him at a limited I guess, capacity. You just got to let him go full on. Take the lock off, unwrap the chain, open the gates, and just let him do what he's supposed to do. Will there be some, woo, what was that? And will there be some, woo, that was that moments? Yes. And you just got to roll with it. You just got to roll with it. And I guess they were trying to control that. And they said, yo, take the gates off, bro. Let this guy go. And that's exactly what we're just going to have to accept with Josh Allen and this offense. Speaking of this offense, Keon Coleman out, Khalil Shakir in, Nicole Hardman in, Shavers in. Your initial thoughts now that you've had time to reflect and look back. Is Shavers ready to take on a bigger role in this offense, or was that a one-off?
I'll say this. The word that keeps popping up when you discuss Tyrell Shavers, not just with Josh Allen, not just with Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott, everyone, is the concept of trust, dependable, accountable. He's going to be in the right place at the right time. He's a hard worker. Everything that you associate with a player who probably deserves more time out there on the field. And, I don't like the word deserve when it comes to sports because, we all deserve something. But, at the end of the day, you got to go snatch it. And I think that Josh Allen's eyes glow up talking about Shavers. He got that little warm, fuzzy feeling to him, Sean McDermott don't get credit to nobody. He was giving credit to Shavers. So I think that they're going to find a way to just reward him for his effort. And not on some little league stuff hey, you work hard, go get some snaps at the end. I think that he found a niche and a role that this Bills offense can at least trust, especially one facet of the game is the scramble drill, where I know it sounds mundane and it seems chaotic, but that's the beauty in scramble drill is that you make the mundane look chaotic. And there are principles and rules when Josh Allen rolls out of the pocket. For those at home, if you don't know, if Josh Allen is rolling to his right, the receivers on the right side of the field are supposed to come towards him. But the guys who are on the opposite side of the field, you go away. You go down the field or you cross his face. And that was just so good on Tyrell Shavers for understanding the scramble drill rules and saying, oh, I'm opposite of Josh. Go deep. And I think that small stuff like that where I see why Josh speaks so highly of him. And I see why he says he has trust in him for plays like that.
And I love it. And I want to give his flowers too, because nothing is tastes sweeter than someone that has grinded on the practice squad, gets cut, gets brought back. I mean, had an opportunity last year. I thought he was real close last year to making that roster. Even he was like, I thought I was going to make this, and it didn't make it. So it was like an extra motivation. No, some guys might say, you know what? I'm ready to go somewhere else. Agent, find me another place to go because obviously it's not going to be my place, but he's stuck to it. And you love to see guys that get over the hump, and not only get over the hump, I'm just happy to be here on the 53-man roster. No, he was like, I'm hungry for more. And when you interview him, he's like Kobe, job ain't done. I still got way more work to show and do. That was a great game. I want more, and I want more opportunities. And I really hope that Josh, Joe Brady, the coaching staff, they find a way to get him involved. And I'm telling you right now, man, when he was on those, Curtis Samuel catching that football with his chest, pop off the, making it hard for himself. This guy is pure hands. When he laid down in that end zone, just to take that and corral that in, I want to see a lot more of Shavers. I hope that they find a Carve role for him. Does it mean that somebody has to get less? Listen, we've been asking for a dog. We've been asking for someone to say, feed me more. Shavers might be the guy. He may not be the name you expected, but he's certainly the guy that has earned his way to get that spot. So big shout out to Shavers. I really hope he does get a role.
Real quick on Shavers. I sat down with him today. Did an interview, 2 interviews with him. I did a one-on-one. Go on my YouTube right now, is out and about. I'll tweet it tomorrow as well. And then another 5 questions. Get to learn more about his life and his upbringing. That'll be out Sunday as well. So yeah, real good dude. And I had an enjoyable time sitting down with him today.
big shout out to you, man. Yo, you making your way around, brother. I love it. I love it. I love it a lot.
I'll be chilling.
All right. So I'm gonna move off the offense because I'm limited with your time. So I'll move off the offense a little bit and I'm gonna jump into the defense. I know that you don't want to talk too much about the defense. We know Sean Tucker just went off. We get it. We've had three running backs go off for 200 or 150 plus. I mean, three teams go off for 200 plus yards on us. It just hasn't been great. Sean Tucker goes for 100 yards and it just looked like he was unstoppable. But there were some good things in the pass game. And in this game, in this league, you got to throw the football. Christian Benford, Trey White, Cole Bishop, everybody played their part. Your thoughts on two players more specifically, Bishop, Benford, those two guys. What were your thoughts overall on how they produced and played in that game?
Start with Benford because he missed the prior week with a groin issue. He looked solid. He looked healthy. They asked him to follow. Well, I want to word this correctly. When the Bucs break the huddle, they asked Benford to line up wherever Emeka Egbuka initially lined up. Now, if he went in motion, Benford wasn't following him in that regard, but they asked him to shadow him for the most part. And if Emeka Egbuka ran a route on his side, it was pretty much blanketed. And they didn't play a ton of man in this game, but I thought that he looked really solid. And then even the Bucs are banged up. They're down 4 wide receivers. But, I mean, the rep right here against Tez Johnson in the first, I mean, that's a 10-yard route that he tackles for 1 yard. Like, that's a hell of a play, making him go back to the ball. This was in the fourth quarter, that final drive. I mean, that's just disrespectful bully right there, what he does to a receiver that's playing well. This is the end of the game, that deep post route where he's trying to, everyone, you can beat cover 4 with a post. I don't know if y'all knew that. Shout out to Coach Brown who didn't know that, but whatever. So a good route there. One-on-one again right here, catching out of the scene. I thought he looked really good and confident, especially, this season. He's had his ups and downs, and I think some of that is due to injury. Cole Bishop, another solid game. That interception he had, falling off the man coverage and just being a ball player. I think I've said it before, and I'm just going to continue to say it until I'm numb in the face. Traits plus instincts equals ball player. You got the traits, and now we're seeing those instincts. Like, yeah, I'm in man coverage, but I can peek back at the quarterback. Oh, that's where the ball is. Let me fall off my guy and be a ball player. You combine the two, and that's when you get a special player.
So I'm going to ask you again. Has Cole?
Yeah, he has. Yeah. He arrived. He's arrived.
He's there.
He's arrived. I think you can officially slap the tag on good safety. I think we have a month full of play of multitude of different scenarios, and he's in different formations, different situations. He's in man down in the box on a wide receiver. He's down in the box guarding a tight end. He's making open field tackles. Is he perfect? No, he's still going to make mistakes, and I think that's every NFL player. But I think he's definitively a positive for a Bills defense that doesn't have many of them right now.
I gotta give him credit, man. I mean, he's certainly earning his stripes. He's earning that Buffalo decal on his helmet, or going to Florida Seminoles, the little tomahawks. He's earning all that right now. He's playing good ball, and he's trustworthy, dependable on the defense. He's at the safety position, and you got to give him credit. You also got to give Jordan Poyer credit. I mean, the just 1 + 1 = 2, man. Listen, Taylor Rapp gone, Poyer in, Bishop plays good ball. I mean, the math is mathing for me. So big shout out to our guy Cole Bishop, the defensive backfield. The linebacking crew, we'll get to our hands on that in just a little bit. But let's go to the Texans, and I'm gonna get back to all these other things later on. But Texans, is this a team that, bro, we good things against the Bucs? We love what we saw. 6 touchdowns, Josh Allen. 3 in the air, 3 on the bottom. James Cook, he still was a present player, catching the ball out of the backfield. O-line was solid. This is a different Texans defense, though. Number one defense in the league.
Yeah.
How troubling are these Texans going to be for the Bills, in your estimation?
I think there are 3 defenses you can put in that category. Broncos. I think the Seahawks deserve some love for that. But for me, it's the Texans. And I think the Texans are one of the few teams that have that combination of superstars off the edge. Like, there is no star off the edge. Will Anderson and Denil Hunter are monsters off the edge, complete monsters. And then Derek Stingley is probably my favorite cornerback to watch. And then probably only behind Surtain, but I'm biased. I think he's my favorite. He's the best in the league. And then across him from Kamari Lassiter, dog, he might only be like 5'10", but he played like he's 6'2". Aziz Al-Shire is a menace in the middle. He probably going to get a personal foul in this game. For those who don't know who he is, he's one of those players who teeters that line all the time.
Yep.
So it's going to be a challenge, and it's going to be definitively not even close to the toughest defense the Bills will have seen this season. When you think back to that matchup last year, Josh going 9 for 30, and he had by far his worst game of the season. There were two elements as to why they struggled. They couldn't protect him. He just couldn't. I mean, the O-line was obviously fabulous, but they had a really rough showing that day. And then that was the game that sparked the Amari Cooper trade, if you guys don't forget. Remember, because no one can separate. And I'm not going to really expect, no disrespect to these players, I'm not going to expect Khalil or Shavers or Gabe Davis to beat Derek Stingley. Okay, I'm not expecting that. But I do think that there are ways you can get after the Texans, especially if you're able to run the ball on them. I think that's the way you have to do this, because if this is a game where the Bills are down 10, it's not going to bode well. They just allowing Will Anderson to just hunt is just no bueno. And I love Dion. I love Spencer Brown. You know, this is a good synopsis of the Texans right now. Does anyone remember that Seahawks-Texans Monday night game from like 2-3 weeks ago where the Texans offense gave them no chance? No chance. And I think the Seahawks were up like 3 scores late in that game.
Buddy. Yep.
And yet the Texans defense beat the living piss out of the Seahawks to the point where I was in that fourth quarter like, wait a minute. Are they about to win this game? They are that type of team, and they play with a certain tenacity and physicality that reminds you of like old school football. So, I mean, the Bills can get them because I think the Texans offense is the opposite of their defense. But it's going to be fun, and I think it's going to be a good gauge as to where this Bills offense is. Like, hey, was last week a happening? Was the Dolphins game more what it's supposed to be? I don't know. We're going to find out in about 48 hours.
Man, I'm trying to find the advantage, so I'm gonna be looking at it once, because I know you're limited on time, but like once I'm gonna try to find where the advantage is. And have you peeked? Have you had a bit of a film session to see, okay, where can the Bills, find a way offensively against their defense, because that's their strong point. Offensively, CJ Stroud out, Davis Mills in.
Yeah, the offensive line is trash. Yeah, I mean, Nico's great.
Not saying much.
No, Nico's great, and Dalton Schultz is a solid tight end. Outside of those two, though, you're not really. To be fair,
Nick Chubb's not what he used to be, but against his defense, maybe he does. I don't know. So
I'm gonna say, because Sean Tucker went on nobody's scouting report last week either. Although Sean Tucker went to Syracuse, so he was on my scouting report. Shout out to
watch out.
But I think one way that you can get after the Texans is running the ball. I think that's one way that you slow. The old adage, you know how you slow down pass rushers? You run right at them. Now, that is much easier said than done, because I think Will Anderson is much better against the run than people give him credit for. But if you go downhill at these guys and take the secondaries don't matter if they're not passing the ball. You know, like Derek Stingley's not known for his tackling prowess, is because he's an outstanding cover corner. So I think that's one way you get James Cook involved. You get these tight ends involved. I know Norton Kincaid, but the running backs maybe as well. No Jalen Petrie. They're really, really good safety for the Texans. He didn't pass concussion protocol in time either. So there are ways you can get after the Texans. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the Bucs got them earlier. Now, to be fair, the Bucs were fully healthy at that point, so it's a little
fully
different.
Healthy. But Bucky Irving, everybody.
Yeah, like the whole gang bust. All of them was healthy. Like I know the Bills played them without like 6 starters, so it's a little different. The whole squad was healthy. So I think that they didn't have Benford in that game. But I don't think Christian Benford was why Josh Allen went 9 for 30. So right. I hear you, though. And I'm not really too worried about the Bills' defense. I'm not. I think this is a game where it's 1st to 20, and whoever wins that gets their first wins the game.
Well, there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, my guy, Mr. Carl Jones himself. Listen, he's got a lot going on. YouTube channel. Is the YouTube channel new? I don't remember you talking about doing.
Yeah, so I got a personal YouTube where I just, like, anything that's me related, I just put it up there. So, like, that's where I, like, if anything that my name is associated with, I just throw it up there. So if you see it, it's
out of boy.
Yeah, and then obviously check my TikTok out. Tyrell Shavers thing. If you guys missed it, check my YouTube, my X feed to have it out tomorrow. And then 5 questions, which is more of the lighter side. You just get to know the player as the person. You get to know his Thanksgiving meal. My boy love collard green. You know, I need to stop talking about Thanksgiving because I'm hungry as hell thinking about it. Also, Tyrell Shavers, for those who don't know, he went to Alabama and probably played in one of the greatest games ever in college football history, the 2019 LSU versus Bama game.
Mm.
I just want to say the receivers that were on that field. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. That's LSU side.
Right.
Bama side. Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, Jerry Jeudy, John Mechie, Henry Ruggs. Oh, by the way, some guy by the name of Tyrell Shavers as well. It's an awesome interview, and I can't wait to share that with you guys.
I'm looking forward to it. I think we're all looking forward to it because he's going to be a name that we should pay attention to. I hope you asked him what his true 40 is, because there's some conversations. Is he a 4.3 guy? Is he a 4.5 guy? Like, we don't know if we consider him a speedy guy. So I'm hoping that something gets revealed in this interview that you got going with my man Shavers.
I did not ask him how fast he runs, but I can say that he's a tall guy, so it's always, deceptively fast. I think that's.
I like that. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, our guy, Mr. Jones himself. You guys already know what time it is. Go ahead. He's got his YouTube channel. He's got the Twitter. He's got the TikTok. Go ahead and follow him on everything. Carl Jones. Go ahead and do your business at work. We'll catch you next week.
Yes, sir.
We'll do this whole thing again.
And listen, I know what I said about the Texans defense. They offense trash. Come on, y'all. Let's be for real. All right, y'all be blessed. Be easy.
My guy Carl is out of there. Listen, if you guys appreciated if you guys do like having Carl Jones on as my co-hosts every Tuesday, smash that like. You know what I'm saying? That this relationship that we have was just over a message on in the DMs. Hey man, I'd like to have you on the show. You know what I'm saying? I like what you do. And this is two years now, 2 years running, and we're doing it. So if you guys appreciate that, if you guys like Carl Jones, show him love. I want this guy to have all the success in the world. I mean, I really truly mean that. You know how I am, man. You know what I mean? Love always, no hate, nowhere. I always want to show love. So show my man some love, man. So let's get to it. All right, let me run back this Bills Tampa Bay game, because I want to recap it and be done with it. And sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment and you're watching the games and you're tweeting and you're doing this and you're doing that, all that good stuff is great. But then you have time to like reflect and rewatch the game and then go back and watch highlights and then listen to commentary and listen to player interviews and coach interviews to give you insight on things. And then the all 22 start coming out and you're watching clips and you're trying to do what you got to do. It becomes very different from what you watched live. And then when you break stuff down, and when you break stuff down, sometimes it's not what you think. You can hear a lot of people make noise of how such player didn't do well, or offensive coordinator called terrible plays. And then you go back and you're like, fam, those things were there. Nobody's getting open, right? That was the big thing. And I never fell for it. Because I was like, there's no way that nobody's getting open and nobody's doing anything. And then you started watching the film and you're like, bro, they are getting open. It's just that Josh is maybe not seeing something, or this wasn't schemed properly, or somebody missed a block, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I say all of this to come back and mention, listen, the Bills beating the Bucs was a big win. That was a hungry team that needed the win. If you go back and look at the NFC South, bro, I can guarantee you the Bucs were not wanting to be close in the records alongside the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers are gaining speed and gaining momentum, and they're getting dubs as they come along. And the Bucs needed this win to kind of give some separation. So they came out as best they could. Were they banged up? Yes. Were we banged up? Absolutely. So what needed to happen happened. Josh needed to just find himself again, get his groove back, and start playing like the type of football that he wants to play. And that's fun, fast, and scoring points. That's exactly what we did in this game. 3 on the floor, 3 in the air, but he got help from contributors. And give love to Shavers, bro. Like, I can't tell you how much I love when someone comes from nowhere and has been grinding and has failed and has come back again, has failed and has come back, and he's now on the roster. He's not taking this for granted. He's not saying, I'm happy to be here. He's here to stay. And if it's up to him, just give me an opportunity and I'll make the most of it. And we've been seeing it. I mean, last year with that screenplay, they gave him that screenplay and he took it to the house. You're like, bro, okay, like this guy's ready. What are we doing? What are we waiting for? And all it takes is opportunity. Sometimes not the opportunity that what we would have thought would have happened, meaning Keon Coleman having to sit down and sit out. Well, guess what? He gets elevated in terms of Shavers getting elevated, and he took full advantage with 4 receptions for 90 yards. So big shout out to Shavers, deservedly so. And I hope they reward him by giving him more time on the field, more time with Josh Allen, and more time to have time to produce. Now, what I love about this is now that you've seen somebody else elevate their game and step up, it's now going to force all the others to step up, right? Shavers finding his niche, right? Gabe Davis finding some time and finding his niche and trying to get his bearings right. Don't forget, he's coming back from an injury. He's starting to get back on the field. Get him warmed up and get him some time. You might see him get called up or permanently stay on the roster. That will be something that we'll have to figure out. What happens with Mecole Hardman? Was he faking that limp because he fumbled it? I know that's the joke that's going around on the internet, but we'll see what takes place with Mr. Mecole Hardman. So there will be some interesting things that the Bills will have to do. My girl El Boogie says, "What do we got? 3 elevations for the practice squad? We have, was it 8? No, that's from IR. I think we just I can't remember what it is. I gotta confirm that, El Boogie. I gotta confirm that. But are you talking about specifically the player? I think they get 4 elevations that we can bring them up. So I know that's Gabe's first. Obviously, Poyer signed to the roster. I think Zion Log was I think he's probably at his peak, or he's got 1 more left. So we're going to play around with some things. So I got that per player. We're going to play around with some things. I think it's 4 per player that we can find out. So Gabe's got 1. I think eventually they may just say, yo, let me bring you onto the squad. And then somewhere on the roster, somebody's got to go. I just don't know who and where, because now you got Poyer. You got Gabe, Shavers, Keon, Khalil, Curtis Samuel, Elijah Moore, Gabe Davis. Did I count that right? That's 7 receivers. We're not keeping 7 receivers. So either way, somebody's going to be on the inactive list. So they're going to shuffle that thing around. I don't know how it's going to come down, but at one point, they got to figure it out. They have to figure it out on who they want to match up and give the best opportunity to their quarterback and Josh Allen. Who do you have chemistry with? Is it Gabe? All right, we're going to try to figure something out, because this offense has to go. It has to move. Is it Khalil? Is it Curtis Samuel? Do you like Curtis Samuel over Elijah Moore? I would have thought it was the other way around, but that's just me. So at the end of the day, get the best vibing receivers with your quarterback that will produce, and we'll go with it. I just hope that Keon Coleman is part of that. And I think, lastly, I think this is going to be the best situation for Keon. Sit your butt down, learn, be embarrassed, have to answer the questions, have to be dragged through the mud, et cetera, et cetera. And now you got an opportunity to turn it back around. It is not hard to get the fan base back on your side. I promise you that. It is not hard, bro. All this goes out the way with 6 receptions, 80 yards, and 2 tutties. Bro, they're going to be like, yo, he learned his lesson. Let's keep it rolling. This offense is going to be potent. And that's what we want. We have a run game. We have an offensive line. We have an elite quarterback. We just got to get everybody in flow. And that way, once we can kind of get momentum, it's going to be us just putting up points. And the defense, hopefully, will have the ability to now just pin their ears back and go and get it, instead of being on their heels trying to make a stop and nervous. If we can put the points on the board and allow the defense to do what they do and force these guys to be one-dimensional, bro, game is ours. Game is ours. But complimentary. We've got to do it in all 3 phases. That's what it comes down to it. My man, B Bowers. What up, B? He goes, Kincaid needs to stay healthy. Yeah, he does, man. I mean, and slowly we'll start to have returning players. And that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, obviously, Ed Oliver won't be here until late, so we'll have to wait on that. We're starting to see Bernard heal up a little bit more. He had one of his better days against Tampa. He was on it, although nasty. We couldn't stop a run whatsoever, but he did still have a solid game altogether. He had, I think, 11 tackles in that game, and he was instinctual. He was where he was needed to be. Is he undersized? Yes, but he's been undersized his whole life. That ain't gonna change. So it is what it is at this point. But we just need to get healthy. Wait till my man comes back. in Dalton Kincaid. Boom, we get him back. And now the offense changes and has a whole new dynamic. But here's the silver lining in this. We're doing this without Kincaid. So by the time he returns, bro, that's just an extra added element to the offense, which is not going to change because there's already chemistry with him. So this is only good. This is only good can come from this. And then Khalil Shakir, obviously, we just need to find out where he fits. I mean, obviously, catching screen passes is great. It's fantastic. But I think he's more than just that. He's more than just a gadget screen guy. Get him running the dig routes. Get him running the deep route, seam, whatever. Find a way to get him that football. I think we'll be doing great things going forward. All right. Coach JB called Keon oh, come on. Did he really? Oh, my gosh. That's craziness. All right. So that being said, Bills winning that Tampa game. Love to see it. Now, I am concerned about the damn run defense. I'm concerned, man. If it's a physical back, it's like, oh man, like we're in trouble. We're in trouble because we don't deal well with physicality. I don't know. Milano just seems to be, whether he just doesn't have the passion anymore. It's not there. He's not playing with it. I'm not casting, you know what I'm saying, negativity towards that brother, but like it just feels like I didn't hear his name once in that game. Did you hear his name called once? I didn't. I'm not even trying to throw shade. I did not hear his name called once. So I've loved this guy before, but Dorian Williams, don't forget, man, when he was replacing Matt Milano, this guy had over 100 tackles. He was still amongst one of the leaders in the NFL with how many tackles he's getting. So now you got Dorian Williams returning, right? Fresh, young, strong, physical. Shaq Thompson may return next week. That I'm looking forward to. So then we got to figure something out. What are we doing here? Is Shaq Thompson going to take the middle? And then we got those two. Milano sits a little bit more, gets less playing time. I don't know how this is going to play out, but you got to get Shaq Thompson on the field. And if Bernard tends to start to, he's getting healthy and he's getting better, maybe those are the two best pairings. I don't know, but they need to figure out what's going on with that front seven because that front seven has been killing us, and we need to get better. TJ Sanders returning, Deion Walker being there. Daquan Jones was a great addition to come back. So we're starting to get healthy. We're starting to get a little healthier. Larry Gunjobi being helpful in that defensive front. We just need to be better. Our linebackers need to be better, get their run fits, and be great. Wouldn't it be great? And I'm naming all these players, but wouldn't it be great if we had Michael Hoyt in this defense for crying out loud? Wouldn't it be great if we had Ed Oliver? Like, I know injuries happen. They do. But man, would this defense be such a different defense? Think about it. Michael Hoyt is a buzzsaw. This guy just doesn't stop. You got Daquan. Then you got my man Ed Oliver in his recovery. Cole Bishop coming along. Max Harrison returns. Bro, like, things are flowing, but we're not all there. But neither is everybody else in the league. Everybody's banged up. But man, what a unit this would look like if we had all those pieces right from the jump. It's frustrating, but next man up. That's exactly how it's got to be. So we're looking forward to it. My man, Big Papa Bill says, Rico, any word on Ed Oliver's recovery window? All right. So you saw what was taking place. Now his return, they mentioned wild card or AFC championship, right? But I've seen as early as wild card game. So we could probably get him then. Is it pushing it? Maybe, but everybody recovers differently. There was video of him bending his arm and saying, hey, man, it's coming along. And he's saying, hey, listen, look at me. So maybe he's back sooner than we anticipate. But if he comes back too soon, you re-aggravate, you got problems. My man, I have my guy, Thigh Doc, that we're going to talk about that tomorrow, and he'll have a little bit more insight on what he's seeing. He believes that he saw an extra scar. Was there a break involved? Why is listen, I don't want to get into that. I'll let him discuss his thoughts and theories on that, but we'll soon see. Dorian, don't forget we got Dorian Strong, but Dorian Strong's still dealing with that neck issue, so I don't know if we'll see him. If we do, great depth for the team, but I can't see us seeing him anytime soon. All right, so that on that front, just want to get that out of the way. Bucks losing that game, Bills winning it was fantastic. Love to see it. All I wanted was a W. Truth be told, all I wanted was a W. I did not want to be a team that is 6-4 and trying to figure life out, bro. I wanted that win. So 7-3, I'll take it. And now we got momentum. That was a good team. Let's not forget, that was a solid team that we faced. We got the W. Now we got to do it again on a short week. We're facing Davis Mills, Nico Collins, you know what I'm saying? An older, coming off injury, Nick Chubb, not the same. Why do I know that? Because I have him on my fantasy team. He hasn't been good. But I thought about benching him, and then I said, wait a second. They're playing the Bills, and the Bills don't do well with big physical backs. So we'll see. Will Marks is obviously running the football out there. So offensively, hopefully this defense can slow these boys down or take everything away. Offensively is where we have to be mistake-free, establishing our run, and not just kind of, running the same old duos and the power this. Like, we try to figure something out to get the ball into James Cook's hands. We found a way against the Bucs last week, well, a couple days ago, right? By getting the football to him. You saw it. He had over 60 yards receiving and a tutty. This guy's a weapon. Use him. No linebacker is going to be able to stay with that brother. Find ways to get him involved in the game. But establishing the run is going to be big. Using Josh to make sure you establish that run is going to be absolutely important as well. And then we will go from there. So that being said, I think you guys appreciated what I was sharing, where each team ranks. And I'm going to do it today on today's show rather than on Friday, because, Friday show. We got the game tomorrow. On Wednesday. So we have some time. So let me run something by you just so you guys have an idea of what we're dealing with when it comes to these Houston Texans. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball and where they rank and how the Bills should perceive these guys, right? So they're scoring 22 points a game, so no different than the Bucs. So they're in the same boat as the Bucs that we just faced. The Bucs putting up 32 points obviously was above what they normally do. Yards per game, they're 19th. They rank 19th in the league at yards per game with 329. Yards per play, 5.1. So they're ranked 25th, bottom of the league, near the bottom of the league, right? Third down conversions, they don't convert very well on third downs. They're ranked 26th, and they're converting 36% of the time on third down conversions. 62% on fourth down, they're ranked 11th. And then red zone scoring percentage, 43%. They are near dead last, so they don't do well in the red zone at all. So this is where hopefully we can put a stranglehold on these guys and take care of business. And then their touchdowns per game, 2.1. They're ranked 25th. All right. So keep that in mind. Let's go to the defensive side, because that is the number one defense in the league. And I'll tell you why. They're keeping teams to 16.3 points per game. Number one. Opponent yards per game, 258 yards per game. Let me tell you, the Bills right now, yards per game for the Bills, 387. They're ranked number 2. So we're the number 4 scoring offense in the game, and we are number 2 in yards per game. The Texans are number 1 with holding teams to 258. So think about that for a quick second. We're putting over 100 yards more per game in terms of yardage, and these guys are keeping guys at 250. So we're gonna have our hands full against this Texans defense this Thursday. All right, let me keep rolling. Texas defense, they're ranked number 1 in yards per game, number 1 in points per game, number 2 in opponent yards per play. Golly. Third down defense, 34%. They're ranked number 3 defense in terms of getting guys off the field, 34%. Opponent red zone scoring, they're 28th. So once we get in the red zone, or once teams get in the red zone, these guys don't defend as well. So we can get in there and put some points up on the board. We just got to move the ball and get in the red zone, because once we're in the red zone, we can score. The Bills in the red zone, just to give you guys an idea, we are number 5 in the league. We convert 66% once we're in the red zone. So, these boys better watch out. All right. So that's what it's going to take. Number 1 defense. So number 1 in scoring defense, number 1 in yards defense. They're not allowing a whole lot of yards. They're number 2 in opponents' yards per play. and they're number three. They're number 3 in the league in touchdowns per game, 1.9 touchdowns per game, while the Bills are putting up 3.7, almost 4 touchdowns a game. So an ultimate offense versus an ultimate defense. Which side will prevail? That's what it's going to come down to. You know what I'd like to see? What I'd love to see is for this defense to be opportunistic. Oh my gosh. Walter just said that. Look, revenge game opportunity for Cole Bishop. He's got his welcome to the NFL moment last year when he blew the assignment to give up the TD to Collins. That's not what I was going to get into, but I saw you say revenge opportunity. I was going to say this is an opportunity for this defense to be opportunistic, right? By turning turnovers into touchdowns, right? So if the offense is struggling to do anything against this Texas defense, this is where our defense is going to have to be opportunistic. We're good at taking the football away. We need to get back to it. And not only taking the football away, but trying to get in the end zone off of that, or giving the ball right back to Joe Brady and Josh Allen in order and let these guys do what they need to do. But we've got to be opportunistic when it comes to this Texans team. All right, let's keep rolling here. Let's go to the rushing statistics. How are they doing running the football? I think that's extremely important because the Bills don't do well stopping the football. All right, we don't do well stopping the run. So right now, this team, they run the ball 40% of the time. So that's ranked 24th in the league. Yards per rush, 4.2. That's ranked 22nd in the league. They're running the ball 26 times a game. That's ranked 20th. Rush yards per game, 107. That's the key here. They're running the ball for 107 yards. So they're not a great running team. They run for 100 yards per game. The Bills, on the other hand, are allowing 146 yards per game. Let me just make sure that I got that right. Geez, we're worse. We're allowing 153 yards per game. These guys are running for 107. Lord, do not allow these guys to run peak and go 153 yards. This is where we have to stand tall and do something here. So they don't run the ball well, folks. They don't. So our defense has an opportunity to slow these boys down and really just corral this offense. And just our offense just has to do what we need to do to handle our business. Now, Houston's run defense. All right, hold on now. So the run defense, they're allowing their opponents 3.9 yards a pop. 3.9 yards a pop, and that's ranked number 4 in the league. Opponent rushes per game, 22. So they're ranked number 3 in the league. Opponent rush yards per game, 87.1. So they're holding teams to 87.1 yards per game defensively in terms of the rush. That's number 3. So their run defense, they're going to try to do what the Miami Dolphins did to us. They're going to try to do what the Atlanta Falcons did to us. They just take away the run. Don't let these guys run. Make Josh throw the football. Well, we embrace that and do it, because you saw what the Tampa Bay Bucks tried to do. They took away the run, yes, but then they also gave up 3 in the air and 3 on the ground by Josh Allen. You got to remember, number 17 is just a dangerous, dangerous man. So if you think you can just take away James Cook, Joe Brady is going to say, all right, let me figure something out here. Boom, here comes a little dose of Josh Allen. So they're going to do everything they can in their power to limit us running the football and make us one-dimensional. You know, McDermott does not want to be a one-dimensional team. He talks about it all the time. We got to be two-dimensional. We can't be one-dimensional. And he's right. We can't be. So this is an opportunity for us to jump in there and handle business and do it efficiently. All right. So that's their rushing defense. Passing offense for the Texans. All right. So they're throwing the ball 60% of the time. They're completing 64% of the time. So that's ranked 19th. They do quite a lot of passing. They're ranked ninth in the league with the percentage of the time that they pass the football. That tells me that they're down a lot, so they got to catch back up. Yards per pass, 6.7, ranked 22nd. They're throwing the football a lot, 36 passes a game. So hopefully we're putting them in position to throw the football, obviously, a lot. And we are going to be opportunistic and trying to take that football away. Davis Mills is going to be the one starting over CJ Stroud. Last but not least, they're 6.46% in QB sacks, right? They're ranked 17th, right? Middle of the pack. Passing defense, Remember, this is the number 1 defense in the league, right? But their passing defense, their opponent completion percentage, they're allowing their QBs, opposing QBs, to complete 57% of their passes. That's number 2 in the league. Opponent pass yards per play, 6.1. That's number 2 in the league. Opponent pass yards per game, 171. That's number 3 in the league. So that's a good defense, folks. That's a good defense. Opponent interceptions thrown. Josh has been throwing some interceptions these days now. 3.18%. That's number 4 in the league. So this will be interesting. But here's the thing. What these boys don't understand is we got the Bills rushing offense, number 3 in the league. 4.9 yards a pop, number 5 in the league. Rushing per game, we're number 3. We have 30.1. We run the ball 30 times a game, number 3 in the league. Yards per game, we are the number 1 running offense in the league at 147.6 yards a pop. So 140, almost 150 yards a game, that's us. We are number 1 in the league. Listen, we got to keep that up. So they know what they need to do. Stop that run game. We are scoring at least 2 touchdowns on the ground a game. That's ranked number 2 in the game. So that's what they got to deal with. They got a lot of things they got to deal with. But here's the deal, boy. Our rush defense continues to be horrid. We're allowing 153 yards a game. We're allowing 5.4 yards a pop. That's ranked number 31. And teams are running the ball 48% of times on us. We got to slow them down. We got to make these guys one-dimensional. All right. Passing offense. This is where they're going to have to deal with the Bills, right? The Bills right now, we're completing 69% of our passes. They're allowing 57% completion percentage. So their defense is stingy. So Josh is going to have to continue to be at 70%. We should be all right. 8.4 yards a pop per pass. I'll take that, right? Pass yards per game, 239. We're ranked number 8. We're a top 10 passing offense. And lastly, 6.27%, middle of the pack in QB sacked allowed. Passing defense. Here's where it kind of gets a little interesting because we hold our own. Surprisingly enough, we hold our own. So opponent completion percentage, 61, as opposed to the Texans, 57. Opponent pass yards per play, 6.8. We are ranked 12th. We are ranked number 2 in allowing yards per pass, yards per game, 169.7 yards per game. We are ranked number 2. Texans are ranked number 3 with a $171. Opponent interceptions, 2.57. We're ranked number 10. And lastly, sack percentage, we are ranked number 5. So we got ourselves a little something on our defense. Although it doesn't look good overall, but when it comes to them passing the football on us, we definitely can hold our own. It's just we don't stop the run well consistently. That's our problem. We allow too many big gashes. When we can get ahead of them and really stop them and stop them in their tracks, bro, we're nice like that. But too many big gashing plays, which it becomes demoralizing. It really does become demoralizing. So hopefully with those statistics, I hope you guys appreciated that to kind of give you an idea of where the Bills stand. We're about to find out where we are in this case. And right now, this is going to be a battle of the Texans are going to do their darndest to limit us in running the football. And they're gonna force us into those 3rd and 8s, 2nd and 9s. They're definitely gonna try to do that to make this now us one-dimensional where we have to throw the football, and they're prepared for it. They're gonna try to get us into that trap. So establish ourselves a run, get us in manageable 2nd and short, 2nd and mid, 2nd and short, 3rd and short. If we are in that ball game, we're good. We're absolutely good. But they're a pretty good defense altogether. So I'm going to watch a little bit more Texans. I don't watch enough Texans. I'm going to watch some Texans later on and see what they're about. So interesting to say the least. Texans game is going to be a tough one. We're going to do a pregame for the Texans game, obviously Thursday. So hopefully I think Ziva will be joining now that he's got baby girl now. So he's going to find a balance. He's going to try to find a balance of where he can be. But I think he's going to be joining us in that show. So that being said, Texans, what worries you about the Texans? What worries you about the Bills? Here's my biggest thing. The question I had going into the stream was, can Josh and this Bills offense keep the fastball? Can they keep the fastball? That's the biggest thing, right? We just got blessed with a freaking 6 touchdown performance. We just got blessed with 40 burger on the Bucks. We just got blessed with beating a good team, because most people are talking about, oh, the Patriots haven't beaten anybody. They haven't beaten anybody. And that's the narrative. You play who's on your damn schedule and you got to beat them. That's what it comes down to. And this game, if I went back, I thought we were going to lose this game when we were doing our predictions at the beginning of the year, where we didn't know anybody. We thought, if everybody's healthy, who wins this? I thought that the Bills would lose to the Texans, excuse me, not the Texans, the Bucks, and then come back and beat the Texans. So we end up beating the Bucks. Obviously, they're banged up, so are we. But we have an opportunity to take down the big bad, defensive Texans. I mean, listen, if we establish ourselves, because it's all about matchups. Do they match up well against us? That's what we're going to find out. So we're going to have to scheme something up. Don't let D'Amico Ryans in that defense rattle us. Don't let them get after Josh and make him uncomfortable, because we know what happens. When Josh is uncomfortable, Josh starts doing Josh weird things. So hopefully keep him comfortable enough that he's comfortable enough to find lanes and find running lanes for himself to keep this team off kilter and keep them off our behinds a little bit. Because once teams figure us out, bro, it's a long day for the Bills. It's a long day. So hopefully we keep them on their toes. We're not predictable offensively, and we can kind of move the ball at will. And there are going to be some opportunities running the football. They don't have the greatest run defense. They can be run on. They absolutely can be run on. So we'll see how well they do. We'll see how they will do. I mean, they're right now holding teams to 87 yards per game. They haven't played an offensive line like ours. They haven't played one of the better running backs in the game like this. So, and one of the best quarterbacks. So this is where we have to keep that fastball coming. So that's the question. Will we and can we keep the fastball? I think we absolutely can. I think Josh has found that niche. Has he fully gone into it? No, but I think he's figured something out. And now we're gonna have to double up and come back and make that thing happen against these Texans. And right now, what's the record of the Texans right now? The Texans record, I don't even know what their record is at. Hold on, let me back that thing up. The Texans record at the moment, what are they? They're third place in the AFC South. They're a 5-5 record. They're 5-5. They're definitely in this mix, if you will, or in the hunt to try to make a wild card. So they want this game. They're on a 2-game win streak right now, and they're trying to keep it rolling. And they've had some tough breaks, right? They played against, they started the season 0-3. Yeah, they started the season 0-3. So they won a decisive win against Tennessee, then they beat Baltimore 44-10. And I think that was the game that Lamar wasn't playing potentially. I think that's when it was. Then they lost to Seattle 19-27, right? That ugly game. They were still within that game. Then they beat San Fran 26-15. They lost to Denver in a close one, 18-15. And then they beat Jacksonville 36-29, and they beat Tennessee 16-13. Bro, and they beat Jacksonville with Davis Mills at quarterback. Keep that in mind. So they're a hungry team. They're a hungry team. And look who they have. They got the Bills. They have a nasty stretch themselves. They got the Bills, they got Indy, and then they got Kansas City back to back to back. Back to back to back. That's a tough stretch. So the Bills need to, I don't care what listen, the Bills need to handle business. They need to handle business. You're going up against Davis Mills. You're going up against Nick Chubb. That's not the same. On offensive line, that's shaky. Defense, we need you. Nick Bosa, Greg Rousseau, Daquan Jones returning, Deion Walker. You know what I'm saying? We're starting to get a little healthier. This is where the Texans, we need to repay the Texans back. Because that game, they totally made us one-dimensional. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just inaccurate. Josh had less than 50% completion percentage that game. It was not good. I think it was like he had 130 yards passing. It was terrible. This is payback. You know what I mean? There's no distraction of Stephon Diggs being on that team and all of this stuff going on. There's none of that. Now you got to handle business. Handle your business. That's all I got to come down to. My man Mark says, yo, Nick Chubb has been waiting all season to break one. He has. I just hope it's not this game. I just hope it's not this game. He hasn't broken out. I don't think he will. Will Marks is the one getting most of the touches. But if you're watching the league and you're watching what the Bills have done this year, and you're watching what Derrick Henry did, what Devin H.A. did, what Bijan Robinson did, what Sean Tucker did, bro, that's too many names. What the Saints did with Alvin Kamara and who's the other running back that's on that squad that killed us as well, bro. Like Nick Chubb is watching, so he's watching the film. He's like, bro, we can run against these guys. Look at the tiny linebackers. We're gonna push these boys around. So hopefully our defensive front hold these boys at the point of attack and allow our linebackers to go downhill and kill things. But if we don't, man, and we allow these teams to run on us, and then now we're playing from behind, we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want to be the teams playing from behind. But we'll see how it all shakes out at the end. So, and we talk about the keeping the fastball versus the Texans. I think that we absolutely can. Josh Allen is very much capable. I think we all know that. And we're looking forward to seeing more of the continuation off of that. Let's see more Shavers. I really mean this. And I'm not talking about Shavers in a run a screen here and run. Listen, let this guy do what he needs to do. We'll let this guy do what he needs to do, and we'll go from there, man. He goes, what teams, Rico? Context, what teams? What do you mean, dog? What you mean, bro? I'm seeing your comment, but I don't know what you mean by that. What teams? You talking about the teams that the Texans played? What you talking about, bro? What you talking about? Let me know. All right. Tyrell Shavers in this offense, like I said, I want to see a little bit more of what I'm curious as to how they're going to take this. How do you guys see this going down? Because I'm watching this Bills offense, right? Hold on. Let me just show you. I want to share my screen real quick just to give you guys an idea of what we're looking at. So if we're looking at this Bills squad, obviously you know what time it is with these Bills and what these guys have been able to do. Let me close that. I'm going to share my screen in just a moment, folks. Just hang tight for your boy. All right, more team stats. Boom, boom, boom. Because I'm curious myself. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Overview, player stats. All right, let me share my screen real quick. Just to kind of give you an idea of what we're working with. Because all right, Dog is saying the teams that Texas play matter to show whether the numbers are meaningful. Okay. That's what. Okay, let me go back. I'll tell you what they did. All right. So they played the Rams. They played the Rams. The first game they played the Rams. Then they played Tampa. Is that what you're talking about? What teams they played? I mean, I told you, man. They played San Fran. Didn't I run through this with y'all? I mean, shoot. Those were. I mean, San Fran's a good team. They took down San Fran. Seattle, they played Seattle tough, 19-27. Denver, right to the end, 15-18. That was Denver barely got by that game. Remember? We were watching that game. They barely got by. Jacksonville's a good team. You see that big win Jacksonville just had? So, the Texans have beat some good teams. And those are good offenses, man. So, we'll see. We'll see. Scotty says, hey, Rico, what are the chances we win the rest of our games up until we meet the Patriots in week 15? Or do you think we have too many injuries? We have every opportunity to win some games going forward. Listen, this upcoming Texans game is not outlandish for us not to beat the Texans. All right, that's number one. It's not outlandish for the Bills not to be able to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's certainly not outlandish for the Bills not to beat Cincinnati, right? Their defense is not great. They have a really good offense, so hopefully we're healthier and we have a mojo going. So the Bills can beat the Texans. They certainly could beat the Pittsburgh Steelers with them not knowing what's going on with the quarterback. Cincinnati can be beaten. And then we face New England. Yes, we absolutely can win all these games leading up to New England and then beating New England. And then we face Cleveland, which is a tough match. I'm not going to sit on Cleveland and say they're poo-poo because that defense is tremendous. And then we got Philly. That week 17 game is a huge one. And then the New York Jets. By that time, the New York Jets have folded. Tyrod Taylor's probably going to be quarterback, or it might even be somebody else. Who knows? But we have a opportunity to go on an epic run This is doable, and we could get right back into the thick of things, depending on what the Patriots do these next few games, to get back in the thick of things of getting a potentially number 1 seed. Obviously, we got to take care of business to get the AFC East. If we take the AFC East, I can't see why we don't take the whole AFC. So it's still in play, Scotty. It's still in play, still very much in play. All right. Let me roll, and I want to show you the screen that I was going to show you guys. So if you're looking at this, hold on, let me see here. Let me get more specific. Let's go to the passing offense. We'll go to receiving. Receiving offense. You going to roll over for me, bro? Hang tight, folks. I just want to make sure that this is in. All games this season. Yes, that's what I want. Boom, let's go. What are we doing here? Give me the receiving stats. Let me see what we got. Well, I'm trying to show you. Here's where I'm at right now. So let me just. Okay. Why do they do that? Just ridiculous. All right. So right now, so ridiculous. All right. So Khalil Shakir, what is he our leading receiver with 46 receptions? No, I'm not doing this. I can't, like, they got it all jumbled up, and I don't like the way I see this. So they ain't gonna make it. So let me go to just ESPN and show it to you guys this way. Because how would you guys want to see the depth chart in terms of receiver? Like, I know some people are like, well, I'm done with Keon. I'm done. You can't be, guys. You can't be. They're going to give this guy all the opportunities in the world to do what he's supposed to do for this team. And that's be a force. That's be a guy that, does the contested catches and the back shoulders and all the things that we haven't been able to succeed so far this year and do it well and consistently. We're going to need that from this brother, man. And I don't think they're going to move away from that. I really hope they don't. So when you're looking at this receiver room, and I hope you guys can see my screen. Perfect. You guys can, right? Looking at the receiver room. So right now, leading the team in receptions is Khalil Shakir. Half of those things are probably screens. You got Keon at 32 receptions, and he missed the game. Okay. 29 receptions for Dalton Kincaid. He's missed 2 games now, or 1 game. James Cook's next. Josh Palmer missed 5 games. And then you got Dawson Knox and then Tyrell Shavers, bro. And then you got Elijah Moore that has had some time, and you got Curtis Samuel. So I say between one of these guys, they're going to sit. Gabe Davis, I don't know what they're going to do with Gabe Davis. He's going to go back to the practice squad unless they call him up permanently and say, you're on the squad, unless I miss something. But he was called up from the practice squad, so there he is. So here's the deal. Let's just say Gabe Davis goes back to the practice squad. So Khalil, Coleman back on there. Shavers gets more time, but he was always been there, so he gets more time. Probably less touches or attempts and targets to Coleman. But if you bring in Gabe Davis, one guy's going to have to sit and be inactive. So it's probably going to be between these 2 guys, Elijah Moore and Curtis Samuel, unless they find a role for Elijah Moore, which I always thought they were going to, but they chose to go with Curtis Samuel, which, I get it. You're paying him that much money, so you're gonna put him on the field. But now he's nursing an injury, so go figure. So very fascinating. I'm curious as to what they're gonna do. Most folks are like, I'm done with Keon. I don't know if I want to see Keon anymore. We'll see. Like my man Mark says, Keon was dancing pregame after the being benched. Doesn't look good. I didn't have a problem with that. I don't know why people had a problem with that, right? Because there's 2 ways you could have handled it. He could have been walking on the field with hands in the pocket and walking around just mad, right? And just kind of like, on his own and next to people and not talking to anybody, right? And then maybe people would have criticized him for that. But the fact that he was out there dancing with his dudes, he probably already addressed the team. You never know. He probably addressed the receiver room. He addressed the coaches. He probably apologized to the whole squad. The whole squad's like, we got you. Don't worry about it. You're one of us, but grow up. And that was that. So internally, things were probably already taken care of. So like for him to sulk around and not do that, maybe they're good. Maybe they're good. Like, you ever been around a couple that you knew that they were fighting, So like the whole time, like, oh man, we invited them to a party, but that couple was fighting the last time I saw them. They were in an argument. All of a sudden they come to the party and they're kikiing and they're having a good time. You're like, yo, I thought you guys were no good. No, we're good. We're sure we work things out. We're not gonna bring our mess into the party. So like, why bring that mess and that sadness onto the field? Nah, bro, I'm gonna be hanging out with my homies and do what I need to do. Now, while I'm on the sideline, am I attentive? Am I patting guys on the helmet? Am I saying come on through? Now, I didn't see all that because I was not there at the game, but I don't have a necessarily a problem with him dancing around. Like, what am I going to be sad? You know what I mean? On that thing, we're grown. I got addressed. I got scolded. I'm embarrassed. All right, let's roll. And maybe that's how he copes with that. People cope differently, man. People sulk and they sit on their own and whatever, or they have a good time. I mean, Josh Allen, good or bad, he's on the sideline, sitting in that one chair by himself, doing what he does, win or lose. That's how he deals. So I don't necessarily have a problem with media talking about, oh, he was dancing and they're trying to make. Nah, I'm not stressed about that. As long as he knows what needs to happen and what needs to be done, that's all that matters to me. At the end of the day, that's all that matters to me. All right. Let me take some questions, concerns in the chat, and then we'll call it a night. Let me see what we got going here. I see my man B. Bauer says, our run defense is schematic, it's a schematic issue, in my opinion. That's coming from my man Brian Bowers. Says, we've had different personnel for the last 8 years under McDermott, and it's the same BS. That's on McDermott big time. It's funny because McDermott's and his defense has always been known to be good. We've always known for this McDermott defense to be a top 10 defense. When Leslie Frazier was on the squad, we always had this team being a top 10 defense. It was our offense that could never really kind of match it, and Josh was coming along and so on and so forth. And then the 13 second happened, and then so on and so forth, right? So it's a personnel issue as well. Guys are banged up, but I mean, whether it's a scheme, it's his scheme. It's been a tried and tested scheme. It's just the personnel is probably not the greatest. We're starting to see a little bit of a glimpse. Some guys getting healthy, but for the most part, that's been the challenge. So it sucks because it doesn't look good, but that's where we're at. Let me see where we're at. My man Walter agrees with you. He says, I honestly don't know how anyone can't deny that after this long. You can only blame Bean for so much when it's looked exactly the same with different guys. But then, which goes back to like, well, it was always not a problem then, but now it's an issue. Personnel has changed. So it's now whether who's in charge of personnel, that's Brandon Bean. So to absolve Brandon Bean and say that's a scheme thing, back then it was never a scheme thing. We were always known to have a good defense. So call it personnel, call it what you want. It's just what we can all agree on is it's not good enough. Right now, it is not good enough. My man Curtis says, yo, we good as long as we have 17, Rico. Me, you, and Adriana could be the receiver with Z-Bot and RB, and we'd be cool. What up, Curtis? What's going on, fam? Tell Adriana I say what's up. Listen, man. It seems as though we may have found something last week. So hopefully we can kind of keep that going. And Joe Brady was the key in this. He allowed Josh to do what he does, and he made some really good calls, some great calls and great moments. So hopefully we can keep that up. All right, let me keep going here. My man Koala. What up, Koala? Koala comes in and says, I guess third down is my biggest worry and getting pressure on Mills because we know how our D-line plays against bad O-lines. We just got to get out the field, bro. We just got to get out the field, man. Get that defensive stop, get out the field, and away we go. That's what I'm hoping for. Walter says, yo, it's time for Groot to earn his money. He's the highest paid sidekick in the league. If Bosa isn't going to be 100% for a while, it means Groot needs to be the number one for once in his life. I know where you're going with that because you're going back to college days when it was Jalen Phillips holding it down. See, we like Groot, but for the money he's getting, I'd like to see more from Groot. He's serviceable. He's playing good defense. He's holding the point of attack. He's holding that edge, right? He's getting contained. We love that part. But there's the other part that we need more of him is that's getting after the quarterback. And we don't see enough of that now. Is he that guy? Is he that type? I mean, his career thus far, he's never been more than an 8-sack guy. I think the 8 is the most sacks he's had in his career. So I'm not against what you're saying. I'm not against what you're saying. Could we see more and need more from him? Absolutely. I'm totally with that. Totally with that. My man Rage Dog is answering Walter. He says, "Your Bills' opponent's third down efficiency was in the 30s range pre-2024 injury bug riddled season. 40% since the injury years. Can't say injuries don't affect the team. There's no question about it. Like I said, I'm never going to be the one to forget about how this team was consistently a top 10 defense. We were good. McDermott had this team rolling, and we were not a team that was unhealthy. But since this health bug has hit us, bro, it's been killing us, bro. It's been killing us. This year, no different. Sounds like an excuse, but it's not. It's just what it is. It's just the facts. Just the facts. Let me see what we got here before we get out of here. My man Videsh says, "Yo, next few games will determine the playoff picture." Oh, yes, it will. Yes, it will. And speaking of playoff picture, what does it look like right now? So if we wanted to look at, let me just go back to here. If we want to see what the playoffs would look right now. Ooh, the ESPN machine is up. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger. If you guys can see that, let me see if I can make it one more size bigger. Okay. I think you guys should be able to see this. Let me share my screen. Boom. So as of right now, Denver Broncos are the number 1 seed. If the playoffs were to start tonight, right? Denver, number 1. Jacksonville will be facing the Patriots, the number 2 seed. Jacksonville is the team. I remember when I was talking to Z-Bot and I'm drawing a blank. Papa Peck. When we were talking to Kevin, and Kevin's like, "What are we worried about Denver for? Don't worry about Denver." I was like, "Are you kidding me? Yo, Denver's defense is nasty. Yeah, but they got Nixon and Nixon, bro, Knicks. Bro, this team is legit. The Colts, man, you don't have to worry about the Colts, bro. Jonathan Taylor is an absolute monster. We cannot sit there and not worry about a guy like him. But anyway, let's keep rolling with this, right? The Chargers losing last week was huge. Chargers against the Colts, and then the Bills against Pittsburgh. And then obviously 5th seed would then play the 2nd seed, would be the Patriots. We go up against the Patriots. Wouldn't that be something? Or maybe we go against the number 1 seed. I don't know how that works out per se. Yeah, we go against the 2 seed. Wouldn't that be something, huh? Patriots in the playoffs. Take those boys down, and no Kansas City in this thing. That'd be great. So let's just say, what are we, week 12 now? So Bills win. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Let's say the Chiefs win this one because they're desperate. They need to win. The Bears are on a roll. I'd say they beat Pittsburgh. I got to say, Jamar Chase not being in this game is going to hurt. I think Patriots win this one, which I'd love for the Bengals to beat them. Ravens, Seattle, who cares? Who cares? Jacksonville should be able to beat these guys. They're on a roll. This is the toilet bowl. Who gives a damn? We'll go. Shador Sanders will probably get his first start, so he'll get a win. Then we got the Who Cares Bowl, and then Who Cares, and then Who Cares, and Who Cares. So just by this week alone, just by me picking what I just picked, the New England Patriots become the number 1 seed. Gross. I want to barf right now. The Bills remain in the 4th seed. Now, wouldn't that be something? By the time that the playoffs are done, what are the odds that the Bills end up playing the Baltimore Ravens in the 1st round? Golly. All right. And Jacksonville, obviously, with the Colts, that'll be a nice AFC battle, AFC South battle. And then the Chargers and Broncos. And, dude, this is why we need the number 1 seed, damn it. This is why we need the number 1 seed. We can't mess around. We cannot mess around. Let's just say the Patriots do lose to the Bengals. Denver remains there. Nothing changes. Away we go. So, anyways, it's fun to see these things play out. But, man, we can't, like, letting these guys get the number 1 seed when we've been battling for the number 1 seed forever, and then we allow these boys to come in and grab that number 1 seed, bro. Nah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Not one bit. Not one bit. All right. Let me grab a couple more comments in the sections, and I'm gonna call it a night. Someone pointed out when Keon got hurt, the Bills were playing better without him last year. Really? In that what he was gone? We was gone for like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I gotta go back. I'll go back and take a look. I'll go back and take a look. Maybe that's the case. He served his penalty. I don't need him pouting and bringing the team down. Yeah, that's the way I look at it too. I don't need Keon pouting on that sideline, bro. Just be you. Do what you do. My man Walter says, yo, we should treat the defensive rankings no different than we treat QBs in the postseason. Nobody cares what you are in the regular season, but who you are when it matters most in the postseason. I agree with that. All that is cool. It's just good metrics to kind of see, okay, where do we stand? But it all gets thrown out the window. What are you doing when we get to the playoffs, bro? You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? Are we gonna choke, or are we gonna do what we need to do? My man Bartek, what up, Bart? He goes, yo, Rico, do you think the Bills have no excuse to go to the Super Bowl if the Chiefs don't make the playoffs? Bro, the Chiefs are the Chiefs, bro. They just look like a regular ass team. And the games that they were winning last year, these 1 point or these 1 score games, they're losing now. They're 0-5 to teams when they're deciding within a score. They're 0-5. So that's the least of my worries. I'm worried about the Colts. I'm worried about the Baltimore Ravens because they're on a surge right now, and I'm worried about the freaking Broncos. That Broncos defense, although we beat them last year, or was it the year before? Was it last year? Yeah, Bo Nix. And although we beat them last year, that was if not for that toss from Josh to Ty Johnson, the back of the end zone, which was super close and tight, bro. That was a good tight game. This ain't no cakewalk. Just because the Chiefs sitting around, bro, everyone's caught up. Everyone's been building their rosters to face teams like the Chiefs, the Bills, et cetera, et cetera. So the Chiefs not being around is what it is. It's the beauty of the league, man. The parity in the league. First seed plays the lowest seed. That's the left in the division. Yeah. So first seed will play the 7th seed. Whoever wins that one, anyway. So it could be us, could not. We'll see. What do we got? My man Dog says they're okay, Rico. You capping with what? What am I capping with? There's too many comments for me to go back, man. Dog, you gotta tell me what I'm capping about. And they're gonna send somebody home. You talking about the Ravens? You talking about the Ravens? I think you think I'm talking about the Ravens. I don't know. Posters, yo, how can we even say otherwise? You're right. We can't. We're not in the position to, man. As a Chiefs fan, I hope you're right. Oh, Clifton's in here. What up, Cliff? I'll never sleep on the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they always find ways. Even today, I was shocking to me. Andy Reid took a shot. I don't know whether you want to call it a shot or was keeping it a buck, but he mentioned something to the nature of, well, when I call a pass play, when I call a run play, you got my quarterback changing it to a pass play. So, I mean, what are you expecting? So, if there's a rift going on or something going on in Kansas City out there, I don't know, boy. Clifton, you talk to me, bro. What's going on with your squad, bro? What's going on? 5-5, 500. They haven't been 500 forever. So, well, you can't afford to lose another one, brother. You can't afford to lose another one. If the Chiefs, what do you guys play the Colts? Yeah, Chiefs and Colts. Whew, that's a tough one, bro. That is a toughie. So we'll see how that plays out for y'all. But Clifton, you're Chiefs, boy. You're Chiefs. What do we got? My man Michael says, yo, the year Mahomes might not make the playoffs, we decide to lose our division to dumb. Dude, you see what I'm saying? Bro, like, and I don't want to make this all about the Chiefs and stuff, but they've been whooping our butts for so long. So you're like, damn Chiefs. And the year that they're not doing well, this is the year that the Bills are supposed to have a soft schedule and we're supposed to kill it. And we're sitting here fighting for our lives to get to the freaking AFC to even win our own division. Bro, man. And we took some stupid losses. No, not acceptable. Not acceptable. L Boogie, what up, Laura? Laura says, yo, so Schefter said Stroud is out. Our defense has a shot in a real strong game. Houston defense don't play. But you know, Winter Soldier's been activated now. Yes, he has. He has been. But let's not sleep on Davis Mills. Like, first of all, CJ Stroud has not been playing great this year. He has not been playing great. Davis Mills has actually made this offense look decent. If you look at Nico Collins' numbers the last couple games, him and Davis Mills they've been cooking with each other. So let's not, just because Davis Mills is the one playing, let's not sit here and just, oh, this is gonna be a cakewalk. We should treat this no different than if CJ Stroud was playing. CJ Stroud is not a mobile guy, so it's not like he's gonna take off and kill you with his legs, right? So we should treat those two boys the same. So I hope these boys come in and handle business the way we need to. Ain't no other way to look at it. Ain't no other way. I think anyone but the Ravens in this wild card we could beat. We could beat anybody. To be honest with you, we could beat anybody, right? It's just, we just got to make sure that we're mistake free. We got to be mistake free. Walter goes, if we don't win the Super Bowl, not trading for Waddle will be the biggest strike on Bean. Oh, there's no question about that. Bean messed up. He messed up large. He tried to, he butter it up by getting us Mecole Hardman, and Mecole Hardman had a nice little kick return. Bro, it's not enough. Like, you had it. You had him in your grasp, and you said, nah, I'm excited for the 2026 draft, and I need my first rounder with picking number 27. Give me a break, man. Or picking number 32. Let me speak positivity. We're picking 32nd. Give that 32nd pick up to the Miami Dolphins. Who gives a rat's A? Like, come on, man. Or you could have said, I'll give you my 2026 first round pick. You give me your second round pick, or you give me your third. I mean, I don't know. You could have said something, but golly, dude. Yeah. No. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. Why is Trey playing more than Max? I think Max had more snaps this game than Trey White. I think they're starting to I think he had 2 or 3 plays more than Trey White. You did see Trey White on the field. They're still splitting time a little bit, but eventually I think that Max Harrison will take over as the lead, corner, or they'll just continue to kind of go back and forth. I don't know, but he's getting a little bit more than Trey White. He's getting a little bit more than Trey White. All right, what do we got? We got my Rage Dog. Yo, Bean trades next year's 1st and 3 for Waddle, killing next year's draft. Then Waddle gets Hardman's calf injury. Can't sacrifice the future for the gamble today. I know. Yep. The 2027 class is looking way better than this year's also. Yo, he fumbled this. He absolutely fumbled it. Bean fumbled this scenario. Like, you listen, it annoys me getting into it. It really does piss me off a little bit because you had it. And then you decided to say, nah, bro, I'm sticking to my guns. 27 or I'm walking. Bro, tripping. Absolutely tripping. And the Miami Dolphins right now are they can go on and run themselves. I'm gonna tell you right now, the Miami Dolphins could go on and run themselves, and all of a sudden, we got ourselves a race in the AFC East. Could you imagine? Could you freaking imagine? Anyway, that poor 2026 first round selection, he's gonna have so much pressure on him. You telling me, bro? Now that we make our first round draft pick, and you know what? The worst part is we'll probably end up trading the first round and something else to move up, and next year's second or next year's first to move up. You know what I mean? So you know what I think? I think he held on to it. This is what my thoughts are. I think he held on to that 2026 because hell high water, he's taken that, pairing it with other picks to move up to get himself a receiver in the draft. And then we're all going to say all is well because Bean moved up and we need a receiver, yada, yada, yada. That's what I think. I think that's what he had banked. But, dude, Waddle over any of the receivers that are coming into this game. Now, if you want to say, yeah, but he's got a bit of an injury-prone situation with him. He's missed several games, which he has. Unless you're worried about his medical, I have no idea. But fumble. That was a fumble. Terrible. All right, folks, that's my time. If you guys enjoyed the show, do me a favor, smash that like. We'll be back again tomorrow with an injury report. We're going to get through all the injuries, who's playing, who's not playing. And then the night after that, it is the game day. Texans, Bills. It's going to be a long day, rough day, but it's going to be a nice day nonetheless because, A, it's my birthday that day. So send your boy some love. Hopefully the Bills get me a dub on the birthday. We just had, baby girl Zoe Jane just got her first victory. She witnessed her first victory. It was great. Let me get a victory for crying out loud. Zoe Jane got her love. Let me get my love on Thursday night. Don't make Thursday night become, you know what I'm saying, a day where I'm just negatively talking. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that way. So before I get out of here, I do got to get to my sleeper picks. You guys know what time it is, man. We can't get through that without that. Thursday night game happens to be our Bills, so that'll be cool. So that being said, if you guys have not gone ahead and tried it, go ahead and try it. Have you guys gone to do it yet? Get in there, man. Get your sleeper. You get $20 entry. $20, man. Just take it. Those slips, they're easy to create, very quick. In and out, do what you got to do, and you're there. Now, if you're not into that and you just love to see me make terrible picks, then you've come to the right place. You've come to the right place, folks. So let me show you what I'm working with. Show me what I'm working with. Shake your way. All right, so let me get in here. Oh, got the wrong one. Let me slip that, whip that. Here we go. All right, so let me slide that thing over. Bring that over a little bit. All right, so here are my picks. I got Khalil Shakir, more than 4.5 receptions. Listen, screenplay here. He had 1 reception last week. They're definitely going to try to get him more receptions. So to me, no brainer. He's got 5 to 6 receptions, right? If you go and look at his statistics, he's got games of like 6, 7, 8 receptions. So we'll take that. He's usually hovering around 6 to 7 receptions. So 5 receptions, no brainer. I know it's a tough defense, but they're going to get on the ball. At least 2 of his catches are going to be on screens, maybe even 3. So 2 receptions outside of that, no brainer. Give me that. Give me the more on that. James Cook, anytime a rush touchdown. If we get into the red zone, the Texans are allowing 67% of teams to score in their red zone. Give me James Cook getting a touchdown. Now, this is one I struggled with. I struggled with this one. I was thinking with my thinking cap, and I was like, bro, he ain't gonna catch a whole lot. They're moving on from him. They're gonna do Shavers. Then I said, no, they're gonna try to get him motivated and back into it. So don't look at my pick now. I'm taking the more than 2. I think he gets 3 receptions this game. I know it's tough because lately he's been averaging around that 3 reception mark, so it's tight. But I feel that they're going to try to make a statement and get him involved to get the mojo going. So although I chose less here, give me more. Give me more. I say he gets 3 receptions and we get the trifecta. So more receptions for Khalil Shakir. I say he has more than 4.5 receptions, which gives him 5. I give a rushing touchdown 1 to James Cook. I can't see that not happening. And this one here, tricky. He's been averaging not a whole lot per, but I feel good that they're going to try to get him involved and focused, and he'll be ready to go. So I think he has more than 2.5 receptions. So that's my picks. If you guys love them, show some love. Love to hear that from you guys. And we can go from there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We made it through. That is my time. You guys have always show love and always been great. And it never ceases to amaze me how great you guys are to tuning in and watching it on the stream. So give yourself a round of applause. You guys have been fantastic. So that being said, we'll see you guys back again tomorrow. My man said, yo, Rico, let us help you out. Listen, man, just show me some love and give me a happy birthday. And that's all I want, man. That's all I want. You know what I'm saying? A freaking happy birthday. That's it, bro. And then we're back on Thursday, and then we'll be celebrating. And if you, for some reason, if you guys don't see me streaming that day, it's because I celebrated way too hard. I took the day off. Celebrated way too hard with the lady. We went somewhere, got mimosas, and I'm a hot mess, right? Highly doubtful. I'll be ready and pumped and ready to go. You best believe that. And then we'll go from there. Let's see what we got. I'm with your picks, Rico. I agree. Keon, if he plays, he gets 5+ targets, at least 3 catches. At least 3. I'm not like Gabe Davis coming right off the streets. This brother got 3 receptions for 40 yards. Golly, Keon has got to get you at least 3. And because he's returning, I can't say they don't give. They gotta give him some love. Give him some love, man. My man Zach Barker. What up, Zach? Zach, Rico, is Rev going to be to the game? Hold on. Rico, is Rev going to the game? Me and my dad and son are going and need to find a tailgate. Rev lives in Texas, bro. He in Texas. I don't know if he's going to that game. Unless, actually, I totally forgot that the game is in Houston. But is he in, I don't know, Houston, El Paso. I think he's in El Paso area. Is that close? Is that a far drive, close drive? I should find out if Rev is going. I'll find out for you, bro. Yo, hit me up. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm gonna find out if my man Rev is going. Have a good night, everyone. Yes, birthday boy, you know what it is. We're doing it. We're doing it. Have a good night. We'll talk to you guys. All right, that's it for me, guys. You guys have a great one, and we'll catch you guys again tomorrow night and then Thursday night, and then we'll have a good time. I don't know if I'll be solo or I'll be doing it with my guy Z-Bot. Chances are I'll be with my guy Z-Bot, and we'll be doing it up. All right. Game is in Houston. Yeah. I got you. All right, fellas. You guys have a great one, and we'll catch you guys on the flip. Let me get my intro music out, and we out. Peace.